Hey, everybody, welcome to Two Over Comics. I'm Steve.
Mike.
I'm Patrick.
And guess what, guys? We're bringing back the review show. We're bringing back Comic Couch from the olden days, Comic Couch 2.0, Reloaded, Alta Vista, whatever you want to call it. It's
Except
back.
we're not going to call it Comic Couch.
Yeah.
No, that title's taken.
We're workshopping it. It's comic something. Maybe day later I don't know. Day after comics. I don't know what we'll call it.
We'll call it Comic Sofa.
Anyway.
That's a good one. Comic Soapbox.
Yeah. Right now we get the three of us. It's me, Mike, and Patrick. We might move. Maybe we'll expand. I don't know. We'll see how many streams we can fit on this thing.
Yeah.
Right now, you guys get the real deal. Right now, you guys get the three amigos, not the three musketeers, because I mean, I think that most of them are dying at the end, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah.
The only thing the three amigos did was kill people with laughter. But so we got each of us got a handful of books we're gonna do. We got 3 Marvel, I know for sure. We got 3 DC books we're gonna do, and I'm gonna pepper in a little indie love in there because goddamn they need the indie love. Those titles because it's a struggling bit. It's like trouble time.
I wanted to do an indie book myself, and I was gonna try and do the Transformers 84 Secret and Lies #1 miniseries, but it was a chore to get through. Lots of the names to remember, so I'm like, I'll just skip that.
Like when we're living COVID life, all we have is time. You know, so
and there's nothing really out there that I want to read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna start with Mike. We're gonna start with Beauty Before Age, I guess.
You saw me. All right, so my book I picked was Venom #27, Legacy 192, because they're going back to that like they did in the early 2000s, the whole legacy numbering, which they should just keep it legacy numbering. But just a little quick recap what was going on in from the last issue, because this is like a part 2 of a story arc. So the story arc is called Venom Beyond. Basically, we find out that happened in absolute carnage that, well, first and foremost, Eddie has a son now called Dylan.
Yep.
And that he, if I remember correctly, he got his powers from like I could be wrong because I haven't read both COVID happening on. It's been so long since I've read, in between issues.
Absolute Corona, Kevin.
Yeah, that he got, I believe it was like a seed from Carnage. He got a seed from.
I believe it's Null. Yeah, he gets power from Null.
Yeah.
But
he's connected to the hive and whatnot. Yeah. And so basically, they're going to the maker, who's the Ultimate Evil Reed Richards, Ultimate Universe. Reed Richards is in the 616 universe, along with Miles and Wolverine's son. I think he's still around. Logan's son.
Oh, the gay one?
No, not Draken. They brought over
Ultimate X.
Ultimate X.
One.
He got brought over. So the maker's been made like this like dimensional gate type thing where he brings the Ultimate Universe Venom costume, which was like kind of like a fake synthetic type of costume. So it's not gonna be like the Venom to me. It's Venom, but it makes any sense. It was a man-made suit, basically. And so they've been kind of like teasing the return of the Ultimate Universe. That Bendis did that, and the Ultimate, the Miles Spider-Man 2. They brought back the Ultimate Universe. And I remember Kate saying that he actually would want to relaunch the Ultimate Universe. So he's definitely tying the seeds of either just doing the Ultimate Universe take place in the Venom book, or it's going to come back. So basically what happens is in 26, they go to see him. He has a Venom suit on, and Virus, a new Venom enemy, who... So what kind of happened was the free Spider-Man free comic issue was supposed to come out, and now it's supposed to reveal who first appearance of Virus was.
I haven't read this issue.
I think it's Jacqueline, a.k.a.
Macandela.
Yeah, Macandale. Because he also used to be the Goblin and Demo Goblin, so he's basically like in his vault Venom, like Iron Man type suit, and he's on a glider. And he comes in and shoots pumpkin bombs.
Well, I was gonna say I thought he died during Civil War, got killed by the Punisher. Jack Lantern did, but now that I think that might have been Mad Jack from Spectacular Issues, and I think Jason McIntyre got killed by Roger Kingsley. But I think he got brought back during didn't he?
I think so, and he played a big part in when Venom during the Venom story arc, where the whole big Thor thing that was going on, the miniseries that was going on a few years back, where the Frost Giant. Yeah, they all came back, and Jack Lantern had like a powered up God power suit type thing. So I really think that the virus is Jack Lantern. He basically attacks him because he's been tracking Venom all over San Francisco. He like blows up or damages the anyway, notes here that I can read. My dimensional gate that the maker has been making, because he wants to go back to the Ultimate Universe because he sees that I can't pronounce his name. I butchered it.
No.
Coming back. He's like, I'm fucking ditching this place. This fucking are screwed. I'm going back to the Ultimate Universe. So he goes back. What happens is the Maker gets transported to the Ultimate Universe, and Dylan, Virus, and Eddie get transferred to an alternate reality or an alternate future type thing. I thought it was 2099 because there's flying cars in it.
I thought it was Spider-Gwen's reality, no?
It could be. But all I know is that it was it ends 26 ends with what I thought was a 2099 universe because there was like flying cars similar to what the cars in 2099. And now Venom 27 takes place. It's in that universe. And I should go back real quick. 26. When the Maker returns to the Ultimate Universe, Times Square is on fire, and he's like, "Oh yes, I'm glad I'm back. This is great." Meaning he's probably gonna try and save the world again and all that. Ultimate Universe. Now we're in Venom 27, and this is basically the virus and Venom fight. And while they're fighting, Dylan gets captured by the Avengers. Eddie then goes and says, "Hey," after he's, he kind of knocks Virus aside, goes back up to get Dylan, and you see like a Venomized style Avengers. Like they're like normal. They have like a Venom symbol on their chute. And meanwhile, the whole time while he's in the new alternate reality, alternate future, he sees like the Venom symbol, the null symbol all over the place. So it seems like he went to a reality or a future where he's taking control of Earth, and this is probably what will happen if I keep butchering his name, wins, triumphs. So those Avengers, Eddie's like, "Hey Cap, it's me, Eddie." He's like, "I don't know who you are. You have an illegal suit on. You need to get hand this over to us." And then Virus shoots his anti symbiote weapon at him. He gets knocked off. He shoots the web at Dylan and grabs him off, and they escape into the sewer. And then how we know that all the Avengers are symbiotes or venomized is that the Virus, because he has anti venom tech, he basically shoots like a weapon at Captain America. He explodes, and then he comes all back, all symbiote like, forming back into Captain America. They then take him to they then take him to a new villain called Codex, who's in charge of the Avengers or whatnot. And he's like, "I have no idea who this is. I never recognized him." But meanwhile, while Venom and Dylan escape, they go into the sewers, and we find Agent Venom. I got so pumped, I thought it was Flash in this alternate reality, and it's Annie, his ex-wife. We also find out that, because he goes, "Flash, is that you?" He's like, "No, I'm not the ex-president of the United States." So we found out that Flash Thompson was the president of that, reality or whatnot. So I got to say, Venom has been spectacular. I know in the past, when me and Steve kind of reviewed him, like, I don't see what the big deal about why they're making Venom so big, but like, I'm hooked on Venom now.
The same thing. When I first this first got relaunched with Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. First, I didn't really know much about Donny Cates besides that Thanos one thing. I knew Ryan Stegman And from what I heard about it, it sounded really dumb. And I'm like, they were going full in on the symbiote stuff. And I wasn't a big Venom fan anyway. I just thought he was a cool visual character back when McFarlane and Larson did it, and like that. But like when he went away in the 2000s, I was like, oh, see ya. But
and Flash Thompson was my favorite Venom for the time, Age of Venom, because they made him kind of a good guy.
This book right now has added so much lore to Venom, and like they've retconned a few things for sure, but it's in a good way to kind of like streamline Venom. And like I'm telling you, it between Kate's world building and Stegman's art, it's one of the best stands right now.
And they kind of give the symbiote new powers as he's getting more connected to the hive, too, in this issue, which I thought was really great. He had like a type of like energy blast that came out of him, out of his hand.
Have you been reading Venom, Patrick? Or?
No.
Oh my god,
man!
You're missing out. It's. I mean,
awesome.
Trust me, I'm a naysayer. I was a naysayer on Venom. Like I said, I only thought he was visual. I thought he was a cool tattoo.
Yeah.
The book is so good. Like they basically had this relationship with the symbiote where a lot of people get mad. Where we know when Eddie Brock had cancer during Civil War. And so he gave up the symbiote to Scorpion and all that stuff. They basically did it so like the symbiote put those false memories in Eddie Brock, so he thought he had cancer. Yeah. And since it was linked to his DNA, he like gave him the symptoms of cancer, so he would think he would need the symbiote, so he would leave him. He like made like he like gave him the false like memories of like his wife and like not having. And so he has a son he didn't know about because the symbiote forget about it and stuff. It's really crazy and awesome, and the visuals of Segment are unbelievable. Like with the big, huge gargoyle wings. I love that book.
They're kind of getting away from like Eddie kind of reclaimed some of his sanity too of this. That it was kind of like maybe it was a symbiote also causing him to be that way.
So likable now. The character.
And Venom's back to being kind of not more of the anti-hero. He's kind of taking that transformation from being anti-hero to hero. Where even the Avengers are starting to respect him. Him and Peter are actually friends now. They're good. They're on good terms.
And those interactions with the Avengers and Spider-Man are great because they all have respect Eddie. And he's like, why does anybody give a fuck about me? I'm like a loser. And like I should honestly I should be dead. Like but like everybody and like in the Avengers like want him to be on the Avengers team, and he's like, I'm like not in Avengers League. I love the whole thing where clearly Carol Danvers has a thing for Eddie Brock.
Yeah,
he was like, and it's like
Carol Danvers definitely likes the Spider-Man.
He
she
likes
liked Parker for a while. They were dating for a while. Now she wants Eddie Brock.
He likes the damn daddies.
Yeah, and I also like how Cates when he did the Venom Island story arc that he went back to that island where way back in the 90s, probably maybe I think it was the 90s, early 90s. Yeah, and he went back to that island where he went to escape because he thought he killed Peter. He was free of, the nuisance and the villains, Spider-Man and whatnot. And they literally went back to that island, and I thought that was fucking awesome.
It was very Predator, that whole issue.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, Mark Bagley's art isn't what it used to be. I don't think I don't know.
Stop that! Oh my god, I got an erection when I saw him on the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man.
Well,
not the current one. He did like a fill-in issue, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh, I saw that. I don't know. You know what? I'm thankful for everything Bagley gave me during my childhood. But like, we all get old, I guess.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I still literally love his artwork, but I was telling Steve before this that I try to read the Clone Saga once a year, and my God, some of his best stuff was the Clone Saga.
During the 90s, tight. Yeah, he's great in the 90s. But.
His Scarlet Spider and his Ben Reilly Spider-Man, oh my God, phenomenal.
So that's Venom. What, Venom 26, 27?
Yeah, 26, 27. By Johnny Cage and Juwan Weirden. I can't. That's pretty much that name.
Did you just get a message saying the meeting will end in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
No.
I do. I think usually it does that. I think usually it'll say the host gave you more time. So.
Well, now I have a clock now saying.
Yeah, me too. So I guess this is going to be a quick podcast.
Hold on a second. I hope it really doesn't end. Upgrade. So I have to upgrade and buy her. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
Upgrade this shit. We'll have to put a thing in there that says technical difficulties, and then we'll go back to.
And we'll do another one. Yeah. So we'll go on Darth Vader for Patrick. That's your Marvel book. Oh no, yeah, that's your Marvel books. We'll go to Patrick for that.
Probably.
That's right.
All right, guys, we're back. It depends how good I am at editing, you'll notice there was a difference. We had some technical difficulties. I'm not very good at editing, so you'll probably notice the difference. And they won't even keep this in there, just so you know. Just because so we look raw. But we're going to start over again with Patrick's book, his Marvel book, Darth Vader, was at number 2.
So no more Gucci for now.
All right.
Steve froze again.
Am I back?
You're back.
You're back.
I know. For some reason, I have a bad internet connection today. I don't know why. Oh, but I know why, because I have Comcast, and end of story.
Hey, just like every major theme park, guys. Every major theme park had these disasters like this or technical difficulties, like Jurassic Park. I mean, people
Although
died.
I don't know why.
Park.
I don't know why Comcast is still having technical difficulties. So, but anyway, here we go, guys. Let's get back into it before we get
run
shut
out
down again by the interwebs. So, we'll
Okay. All right. Star Wars, Darth Vader, number 4, written by Greg Pak.
Mhm.
Basically, number 4. So basically,
Cool.
this takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Darth Vader wants to find out what happened to Padme. So he goes on journey. He runs into handmaidens. If you remember episode 1, those girls that disguise themselves as the as Queen Navarra.
They threw me for a loop the first time I
Yeah.
saw that.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, if you love the prequels, this is a great story, and also because you get to see Vader, even though Anakin's wearing the full Darth Vader, you get to feel his character through the whole story.
They do quick flashback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of flashbacks. But I mean, it's like they're done so well. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't think we'd get this story with Kathleen Kennedy running Lucasfilm, so I'm guess she's probably pretty much out of there because
Right.
Lord knows she wouldn't let Luke live in episode 9 of what was that, Fall of Skywalker?
So the Last Jedi, then Rise of Skywalker, and
Well, Kathleen Kennedy has nothing to do with the comics, so that's.
I mean,
Oh no, she does.
let's not go
No,
down
she
the
read-
rabbit hole of the whole crappy Star Wars stuff in the movies, but I gotta say though, every Darth Vader book that's been out, that Marvel's been publishing for the past 2 years now, has been phenomenal.
But this is a relaunch. I mean, it's specific for this timeline.
Yeah, there's been like what 3 relaunches of Darth Vader, 3 volumes of Darth Vader now, I think, or at least 2.
No, I think this is the second one. There might have been specials or limited
Oh, there was
series.
Yeah, for the mini series that was before this, because it was like
The mini series.
Yeah, so that's where I got the 3 volumes, and
Mhm.
even the solo Star Wars book has been actually pretty good because I love the prequels and I love the original trilogy.
Original?
And Dark Horse has so many great Star Wars stories out there, but at the same time I am sick of just revolving around the original trilogy. I want to see what takes place after Return of the Jedi. The Mandalorian kind of takes place after that, but I comic book form, I want to see something after Return of the Jedi. But at the same time, I'm not criticizing the current book because the current book is actually pretty good.
Well, but the thing is, you're getting a story that I don't think George Lucas would let happen, only because the prequels weren't finished when these stories were coming out.
Yeah.
Well, so what happens in issue 4 of this?
And now that, what happens? Vader goes back to Naboo.
Yeah.
The Padme's, where she's buried and everything, But her ex-handmaidens in the royal guard, they set a trap for Vader, to get rid of him. They don't know he's Anakin. They think he's, just some monster that the Emperor made. And so Vader, of course, survives all that. And what happens during the issue is like every place he goes, there's like a flashback. Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. It's just very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess to go back, I like the Star Wars book that Marvel's been putting out. So it's kind of like a guilty pleasure for me. At the same time, I'm sick of like I said, revolving around the original trilogy, but at the same time, the stories have actually been pretty good.
Yeah. You gotta give credit where credit's due. I mean, that's A-list talent.
Yeah.
You know, they don't got some smart that you never heard of. You know, writing and drawing this crap.
And the previous 2 volumes of Darth Vader have been phenomenal. Charles Soule's run's been pretty awesome.
Yep.
The Karen Gillan one, I love the first. It's so good.
It's been great, and for a while, Charles Soule was also doing Daredevil 2, which was great.
I know you were really hyping that for a while. The Charles Soule. He was actually Charles Soule is a lawyer, so that made sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Real quick, even the current Chip Zip, whatever the hell I call
Zdarsky?
Yeah.
I know I said Venom was one of the best titles. Daredevil is the best title the Marvel is.
Yeah, I will say that.
And no one is talking about it. But when people, the thing is, when people talk about Daredevil, they're like, "This, yeah, it's the best book Marvel," but Marvel doesn't talk about it at all. There's no promotion for it. There's no advertising for it. It's the best book the Marvel right now, by far. And I think
I like Ron Garn's on it.
Yeah.
Well, I think Daredevil hasn't had a bad run since like the mid '90s, since Carl Kessel took over. I think Daredevil has. Yeah. That's true. I think it was Andy Diggle and Shadow. I didn't like that whole Shadowland.
Bendis took it over for a while.
I like Shadowland, surprisingly.
But I mean, you've had like Carl Kessel, then Joe Kelly, Kevin Smith, Brian Bendis, David Mack, Mark Waid, Charles. So you haven't had Ed Brubaker. You haven't had a bad run in Daredevil in about 30 years.
No, it's been great.
But they keep canceling the book.
Well, no, they don't really They do keep canceling, but then they relaunch it. So that it suffers from the constant relaunching trend.
The thing with the relaunch,
they would. Yeah, I'm just saying they were doing that way before it became a trend.
Well, they do it because people complain about it, but they buy them anyway. It is it is successful for them money wise. And the thing is, I think they want to do the season format as far as books go, but they're afraid to like go into the deep end of the pool. They're like, oh, we'll just keep relaunching. But clearly, every time you change a creative team, you're relaunching it. So you clearly want to do the season format, but you just don't want to say it out loud. You're doing the season format. But whatever, we'll see what happens. Like as the years go on, I think that might be a possibility for coming up pretty soon. Yeah. So yes. Anything else?
Cat's back.
That's who's back. So, anything else to add about Daredevil? Or not Daredevil, Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Your cat scratch fever now.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cat's attacking me.
Anything else to add about Darth Vader before? Or?
No, it's a great book. I pick it up.
I did like the first issue. Like I said, COVID happened and I kind of lost the shuffle.
Yeah.
So,
Get the back issues. You would like it.
Yeah. The Marvel book I'm going to talk about is kind of an odd duck. Is Marauders number 11. It's by Jerry Duggan, and I forget the name of the artist, but Jerry Duggan I really dig. He did a lot of stuff on Hulk, Thunderbolts, and Deadpool. They're really great, traditional Marvel comic book writer. And the thing about this book right now, it's not like the Jonathan Hickman X-Men or like the X-Force or the Wolverine, but it's basically X-Men Pirates, pretty much. Which when I first saw it, I'm like Kitty Pryde and like Iceman and Storm and Bishop, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But then I started reading it, and I'm also very much into One Piece right now. It's on Netflix, so I'm like full into pirates right now. That sounds good to me. That's basically what it is. You have Kitty Pryde.
I want to be a pirate.
Kids love pirates. But you have Kitty Pryde in front of him, and she what happened. The setup for the series, basically, pretty much is for some reason Kitty Pryde can't get into the island with the X-Men. She's the only mutant who's not allowed to go into it. It may have something to do with her phasing powers, where it kind of glitches with the portal. But she basically just can't go into the island pretty much with the rest of the mutants. So she's basically stuck, running this ship where she just basically goes out and finds mutants to bring them to the island pretty much. And along the way, she finds things where there's obviously like there's like anti-mutant groups and like drug trades and like this kind of, all this the normal shenanigans in an X-Men book. But and she has a crew, like I said, obviously Lockjaw is like her like dragon thing on there. She has Iceman's on there, Bishop, Storm, Pyro's in there once in a while, and Sebastian Shaw was in there for a couple times too. What happened? The big things going on in the book right now in issue 6. Sebastian Shaw killed Kitty Pryde pretty much, just the mutants like that pretty much. And Kitty, even though she couldn't go on the island, had a seat on the council of the mutants. So it's pretty. He drowns her pretty much. And he drowns her angel. He puts like Lockjaw on a net and like and drowns him. And like she's like, I'll give you my seat, just like save Lockjaw. And he's like, no. And right now, if you guys have been reading X-Men, they have these things now where basically no one can die pretty much. They can bring them back.
X-Men is confusing again.
It's very good.
Are they?
Good.
Guys, I haven't read X-Men book in years.
It's definitely kind of lost its momentum since House of X or House of 10, whatever.
Really?
But
I don't think they ever got their momentum back.
When John Hickman first came on, that book was like doing gangbusters. But now it's kind of like simmered out a little bit. And obviously the titles come out a little irregularly because of the whole like pandemic and stuff. But this book right here is just like, if you have been reading X-Men, basically mutants can't die pretty much. They get killed, so they can get brought back to these pods now. It's like that, and Xavier can give back their memory. So, but what happened? Kitty Pryde dies, and they can't bring her back for some reason. So they made like 18 attempts to try to get like Kitty Pryde to come back, and she's not like emerging from the pods like that. So this issue pretty much is dealing, issue 11. They're dealing. No one knows that Sebastian Shaw killed Kitty Pryde, because right now it's basically, if you're a mutant, you're part of the group right now. It doesn't matter if you're a bad guy, good guy. It's a fresh start for all mutant kind, pretty much. So they're trying to bring Kitty Pryde back. They're kind of admitting defeat, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna have a funeral for Kitty, and Nightcrawler's there, and all these guys and stuff like that. And so they're like, Emma Frost gets it into her, like, let's try one more time, bring Kitty back, and like she gets the Cuckoo stepsisters together to try to figure out what's going on. And basically what it is the same reason Kitty can't get into the island is because her phasing powers are keeping her from emerging. Because like when she's like waking up, like reborn or whatever, her powers, like she can't. It's like a baby where you don't know what's going on right now, pretty much. So like her powers are glitching, with she can't get out. So basically, she 18 times they've tried to resurrect her, and 18 times the body hasn't been able to emerge, so it's died inside the body and stuff like that. And they figured out like before she gets consciousness, the Cuckoo sisters have to basically like let her know like you have to turn off your powers right now. Don't use your powers right now, so you can come out of the cocoons with that pretty much, and then you can be reborn. And so that's basically how the issue ends up pretty much, where like she emerges from the cocoon and Kitty Pryde's back and stuff like that. But it's unclear right now if she has the memories of Shaw killing her or not, and so we kind of go from there pretty much. And to me, it's a really
sounds vaguely familiar to.
What's that?
This sounds vaguely familiar to the Ben Reilly story arc when Dan Slott kept killing him off again, and then.
But it's really I like it a lot. It's a really offbeat X-Men book. It's not your traditional X-Men book. I mean, like I said, it's X-Men Pirates, which I don't think we've seen before, besides like some like Nightcrawler stories and Excalibur and stuff. That's basically
the whole Space Pirates with Cyclops' dad too, the Starjammers.
Starjammer. That's I think a movie waiting to happen. I think for Marvel Universe, the MCU. I think is Starjammers. I would love that, but
really,
it's because right now for me
I never got it. I never got Starjammers at all.
Things I have for me, before I saw Thor, I didn't really know anything about Thor really until like recently. So for me, it's always a nice surprise for characters I know nothing about. So like kind of like, and I'm surprised and I get really into them. So I think Starjammers is something I don't really know that much about. So I think I really like a Starjammers movie. So yeah, for me, I'm really digging this book. I like it. I mean, if you're not reading X-Men, like Patrick, you said not reading X-Men, Mike, you're not reading X-Men. Right now, is crazy as it is, there is a book for every type of fan. So like, if you're not reading X-Men, there's like a Marauders book, or there's like a New Mutants book. They're all different like takes, and like you don't really have to know what's going on in every book.
Well, I do kind of like that, how every X-Men book is a different team, and it's not just the same people. Wolverine on every book. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. I had it there, the tip of my head, and now it's gone. But no, aside from that, I do like how the fact that every different right before Hickman took over. Well, was it Rosenberg or Rosen something was doing the book?
Yeah.
And it was kind of Cyclops comes back to life, and Wolverine's been around the whole time, and they were kind of trying to find out where all the mutants were. And it seemed like either he was tying into the Hickman run, or he was doing his own thing, and then Hickman came along, and it's like, well, this is what I'm doing now. This is how I'm bringing back the X-Men.
To me, X-Men go Claremont, Morrison, Whedon, and now Hickman. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think these like the big, huge main contributors to the X-Men mythos. Maybe not like as far as quality goes. Your like your opinion may vary, but I think like as far as like bringing something to the table that has been done before, I think those writers are probably the most prominent in the X-Men.
Before I watched on my regular read X-Men was astonishing X-Men with Whedon's take on it.
Yeah.
I know it's phenomenal.
I was a kid when Claremont Byrne were doing the Hellfire Club and all that stuff. Honestly, it's Claremont and really no one else.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean that just because look at the talent that was with him. Dave Cockrum, Terry Austin. I mean, those people contribute to stories as well.
I think that the '90s X-Men also did a big role in it too. Like,
yeah, but Claremont had a lot to
really
do
get
with
used to
that.
X-Men was during the cartoon, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew of the X-Men. I knew what the mutants were when I started reading books. I mean, I really didn't start getting into books until junior high. Mainly Spider-Man, but like, I knew through the old action figures from the '80s and early '90s about the X-Men and whatnot, and the arcade game. But I think my real introduction to X-Men was the cartoon and the '90s comic.
But that was based on Claremont and Byrne's run.
Yeah.
Well, I
mean, all modern X-Men is real. What's up?
It seems like X-Men's going back to be confusing again, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've been doing that for years. That's why I dropped them.
It always has been, though. X-Men, you're not like, you don't dabble in X-Men. You're either an X-Men fan or you're not. Like, you can't like.
Well,
I dabble because for me, I don't care what any of you say. My favorite era of X-Men was the Onslaught era. Oh my, I love Onslaught.
Really?
Oh God, I love it.
That era. I like that team.
Okay. Oh, you freeze again?
Me?
Oh no.
I had a window pop up. I don't know what it was. So yeah, that's number 11. That's my Marvel books. So we've done Marvel books. Let's move to Burbank, California, and move into the DC books. Mike, what are you doing?
So I decided to read Flash 759. I was gonna do the Batman book, but I figured Patrick was gonna do that. And you guys kind of already know my opinion on the current Batman book. So, but yeah. So Flash 759. The reason why I picked this book was because it was part one of a new story arc. Like I said before, like when we started doing this first review episode, most of the books were in part 2 or part 3 of a story arc. And I'm always pleasantly surprised whenever I go back to reading a Flash book. And I'm going to say right here and now, I actually really enjoyed this issue. It probably because it's a very superior Spider-Man-esque new story arc. So basically, I haven't been reading Flash, so I'm going to have to go back and reread it, and I'm hooked from this issue. That at one point during the previous issues, Reverse Flash has taken control of Barry Allen's body. It's like through the Speed Force or some type of vibration type thing. He transferred his essence into Barry Allen's body. And this book it starts off with, Flash, Barry Allen Flash, because we all know what happened to Wally West and whatnot. Tom King's run on that. Tom
King is such a big one.
Wow. I'll tell you, really sucks, Patrick. But so
no comment.
The book starts off with Barry Allen running to go see Bart Allen, his grandson from the future. Yeah. He grabs him from hanging out with Young Justice. So the only book that I've been praising about Bendis of late has been Young Justice up until the whole Robin B. and Drake storyline. But everyone's starting to kind of remember who Connor Kent is. Like they forgot who he was, and now everyone's starting to remember who Impulse is. The original, not we don't think he's the original Flash, but they're starting to remember who he is. And also, it seemed like in this book that everyone kind of forgot who the all speeders were. Like, what was it, Max Mercury? I think it was.
Yeah, the old times, Johnny Quick, people like that.
I'm starting to remember them now. And so basically what happens is it seems like Reverse Flash kind of wants to be a hero from what I got from this book. But at the same time, he also is teaming up with the rogue gallery of Flash and whatnot, all his rogue galleries. And he's trying to make himself be a better Flash. Again, it's very superior Spider-Man-like from what I got from this. And that, they team up. Bart sees Flash acting very unflash-like. He sees much more violent. He's kind of meaner to Bart when Bart's like, we should bring, I forget the name of the guy's name, but he basically throws a bomb in one of the Flash villains' face, and Bart's like, I don't think we should take him to the police. I think we should take him to the hospital. And Flash is like, you're very un-Flash-like. I'm gonna be the new Flash now. Blah blah blah. So he's basically calling Impulse, I'm done with you now. You're not a speedster now. I'm gonna be the main Flash.
I thought Bart would have said, "Ay caramba."
Yeah, and then basically what happens is Flash meets up with the Rogue guys again, saying, "You guys weren't supposed to be there at this time. You're gonna blow my cover, basically." And
You know what that sounds like? Like, remember when Barry Allen was dead in the 90s?
Yeah.
And Wally West was the Flash? Remember there was a story arc by Mark Waid that brought Barry Allen back, but it turned out to be the reverse Flash.
That's basically what they're doing. And Bart then goes to Wally and Iris's, Barry and Iris's, homestead in Nebraska, over their home, wherever. And then we meet up with the new Kid Flash and a new Flash villain, new speedster.
Godspeed or everything is.
Yeah, there's a new speeder there. There's so many now
yeah.
But, both Wally West and Bart go there. Impulse, Bart basically fights Flash, kicks his butt, saying, "You're not my grandpa," blah blah blah. Then it gets revealed that he's actually with Iris. It gets revealed that he's in fact Reverse Flash in control of his body. I was very pleasantly surprised by this book. I picked this book on Unwhelmed because it was a part one of a new story arc. I want to go back and reread the previous issues to see how it led up to him taking control of Barry Allen's body. I was kind of at first, I wasn't the biggest fan of Superior Spider-Man at the first. I'm like, oh, not my Peter Parker, blah, blah, blah. But I grew to love Superior Spider-Man. I even love when they brought him back. And Doc Ock was a clone. They brought back Doc Ock in a clone body at Peter, and he was a new Superior Spider-Man again. But I'm gonna keep reading the next issues that come out. But yeah, I'm hooked. So I can't. 2 thumbs up, I guess. Yeah.
To me,
all right.
I've heard good things about Williamson's Flash. For me, I think that right here, you explain it. I think I'm gonna go back and read Rebirth #1 from like Williams when he first started, and then from like 2016 or whatever, and then go from there. But I'm interested in.
Yeah, I'll go as far back as Rebirth. I won't go any further than that. Because anything before Rebirth is the new 52 crap that me and Patrick wrote apart originally. So, but I can't say how hooked I am. And this is like the second time where I was hooked with Flash. Like back when they brought back, I think it was which Flash died first? It was so long ago for me. Jeff Johns was doing the book, and he brought back Barry Allen. I was 10. I kept reading Flash for a while. And then I think I was like, I'm kind of done with the Flash for now. But I'm back. I'm hooked again, and like it's been this book's great.
Joshua Williamson is a real good talent. I mean, he has really kept that Flash alive for like what 4 years that he's been writing it, maybe longer. The guy does excellent work.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, he's been writing
it since Rebirth, yeah. But yeah, like I say, is guys, if you're a big fan of Flash and this is the book for you, it's now the book for me. I think I have a new DC book that I'm gonna read and whatnot. So yeah, great book.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Patrick, you doing detective?
Oh yeah, Detective 1025.
That is a pretty sweet
by Peter
J.
Tomasi and
getting close to a milestone issue.
By P.J. Tomasi. Basically, it's the Joker's war that never ends. It's not bad. The biggest thing is Batwoman shows up. Yippee. Yeah.
No, Patrick, I gave it a good review because I pissed a bunch of people off in our last episode that we did together. So we got
okay. It's okay. I mean, it's a quick read. That's what I can say. I mean, honestly, do you remember The Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller, when Batman has a tank? Yeah, that shows up in this book.
Oh, awesome.
Now, here's the thing about the Joker's War, huh? Here's the thing about the Joker's War I don't understand. What's Bruce Wayne doing with tanks, fighter planes, all this stuff? Where would he keep it? Like, honestly, this story in this issue felt like they saw the movie Dark Knight Rises, the third Batman, Christopher Nolan movie. Then he read Frank Miller, The Dark Knight Returns. They put it together. That's what it is. That's all it is.
I've heard that comparison. People talking about Joker Wars. A lot of it.
It's exactly it.
To me,
you got Batwoman.
I was reading Detective. I kind of fell off for a little while. I think Tomasi. I loved his detective. I think he's writing Batman and Robin before during New 52. I like that one.
See, he wrote a great Superman too.
Superman was great. I think he's kind of. I think they kind of just put him on detective because like they felt bad that they kicked him off Superman.
He got screwed. He got screwed so bad.
He was doing a good job on Superman, I will say. He did a good run on Superman. Even when he was doing Batman a while back, it was a pretty good run too, I will say.
I like that one. I thought that was great. I think him and Patrick Gleason too also really complement each other because Patrick Gleason's an artist, but he's also a writer too.
Yeah. They were doing Batman way back when I think Dick Grayson was still Batman too. I think.
And they had David Wayne as Robin. They were doing that. That was fantastic.
I think what it was, yeah.
Tim Drake will always be my favorite Robin, and my favorite Batman who takes the mantle is Dick Grayson.
Well, to me, Dick Grayson's one of my favorite characters in the DC universe. Period. The guy. To me, I wish DC would do a future story with him as Batman and do a 20 issue run. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. So are they gonna wrap up Joker War, you think, before 1026 or 27, whatever it is?
No, and the thing is, 1027 is the last one, but there's a big special book at the end.
Because that's
supposed to wrap.
I think 126 is supposed to be a big anniversary issue because it's the first appearance of Batman in Detective Comics.
Although 1027 is.
Well,
1027.
Actually, Eric Larson actually pointed out because he goes, actually, the first issue of Batman in Detective Comics, it's supposed to be 1027, but DC is doing it 1026 because the first appearance of Batman.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, it's probably gonna be over by
shoot me in the fucking head.
But I'm going to try to wrap it up real quick because once again we get the timer going. We only got a few more minutes left.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm going to do an indie book. So I think what I'm doing right now, I'm going to do Green Lantern #6, Green Lantern Season 2 #6 by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. Have you been reading Green Lantern at all? Or Morrison's Green
I'm
Grant
just looking at
Morrison's
it.
first few issues. It's very long-winded, so I kind of was like, eh.
But
I mean, I
Morrison,
did dig the artwork because it felt very classic Green Lantern, so I will say that. But yeah, it kind of was.
it's a very much a Morrison book, especially with Liam Sharp drawing it pretty much. The art's great. I think it's very it reminds me of old '90s like DC. Morrison's it's very much a departure from Jeff Johns like color spectrum type Green Lantern books we've been reading for the past 15 years. It's and the good thing about it is basically it's like what do you know about Green Lantern? It's like, oh, he's goes to space and he has a power ring. Okay, that's all you need to know. Which is weird because Morrison is very he's very in deep with DC lore. But for this, he's a space cop, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Law and Order with space cops, and so we did season 1, which was basically we had a bunch of cool stories, and then it basically what happened is the Antimatter Corps came, which is a creation by Morrison, who basically kind of turned matter into antimatter, and there was a different reality where they took over the world and destroyed the Justice League, and that was the dark I forget what it was called, Dark Hawks or something like that. Storyline, but we're in season 2 now of Green Lantern, and the Antimatter Lanterns are after the Green Lanterns, and so basically we start this issue with Hal Jordan is in this alien hospital. There's a hospital with the nurse called Lalo Alagua, who's this big squid looking thing, and it's actually a funny moment where it's where Hal Jordan's like, hey, didn't we have a relationship together? So basically, we've established that Hal Jordan's banged aliens and everything else. There's another character
of Green Lanterns.
There's another character in there who's the Snagglepuss type guy who's complaining to the nurse about all the the ruckus between the Green Lanterns and stuff. So anyway, the Antimatter Corps come attack Green Lantern. His ring's still being repaired from their last battle. He's still all banged up. And they start killing off Green Lanterns. There's one Green Lantern guy who's this crystal guy who can basically changes matter and and turn to he's turning one of my favorite Green Lanterns. It's really hard to explain. It's a Morrison book, so obviously there's elements unless you read it you can't really understand. But we ended pretty much with the Antimatter Corps taking just laying waste to the Green Lantern guys. This Snagglepuss cat guy turns this wicked OP Green Lantern guy who kind of saves the day. And we end it with the Guardians meeting, talking to the guy who's been narrating the whole issue, and it's Hal Jordan looking very much how he did when Hal Jordan was the Spectre back in the 90s. So it's how's it like being dead again, and that's where we leave off of it. I've really been enjoying. It's again, you're either a Morrison fan or you're not. It's kind of hard. So dip your feet in Morrison books. I'm really enjoying it. It may not be what everybody's read from Green Lantern since Jeff Johns been on it, but I'm really enjoying it. And so we're halfway through season 2 of Green Lantern right now, and it's pretty good. I recommend Green Lantern right now by Morrison and Sharp. Yeah.
I gotta say, I think this is my first podcast with Patrick on a reviews episode where we gave everything a generally positive review.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, right now this has been a disaster. We've crashed. I think we're gonna crash twice now. We have 4 minutes left, so I think we're just gonna wrap it up right now.
All right.
Me and Mike are gonna give our classic. We'll do better next time tagline.
We'll do better next time, I swear, guys.
Yeah.
Again, you guys, if this is your first time tuning in, remember to like and subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down if you disagree. Give us some, in the comments, some books you want us to read and review, and we'll definitely tackle those for you guys. And I think it's going to do it for this episode. Look forward to more. We're going to try to do this every Thursday, the day after comics come out. The day after Marvel, the rest of the comics besides DC comics come out. And so look forward to videos like this every Thursday. And we'll try to get them up for you guys. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later, guys.
Come on, you fuckers think that just because a guy reads comics he can't start some shit? I'll fucking take all you want!